Today I'll be explaining ocean acidification and global warming and its harm to the ecosystem. To start off, we need to mention the cause of global warming and ocean acidification to the environment. It all started from the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution caused the release of CO2, carbon dioxide, from the burning of fossil fuels. According to an article that is by Jones Adam published in The Guardian, our ocean absorbs about 40% of the carbon dioxide that is released. Both global warming and water gets affected from CO2, as global warming has an increase in the temperature and ocean acidification has an increase on acidity in the pH level, and the water gets hotter. So basically, global warming and ocean acidification are similar, as their cause comes from the CO2 that is produced. Ocean acidification is basically the change of chemistry in the ocean. When carbon dioxide (CO2) reacts with H2O, it produces carbonic acid (H2CO3), and then it reacts with carbonate ions CO3-2 that comes from the ocean to form bicarbonate HCO3-. Calcium carbonate CaCO3 are the building blocks of shells and reefs, and carbonate needs to react with calcium that is in the shell or the reef to form shells and skeletons. Carbonic acid has a stronger reaction with carbonate ion, which means carbonate ions will choose to react with carbonic acids rather than calcium. pH is negative log H+, and it means that the more hydrogen ion there is, the ocean will become more acidic. When we have carbonic acid, we have two hydrogen ions, and when we react carbonic acid, one H plus is released, which means the ocean is becoming more acidic. And when bicarbonate loses one H plus to form carbonate ion, the ocean will have a more acidic pH level. According to NEOAA, the National Atomic and Atmospheric Administration, the average ocean pH level is 8.2, and CO2 made an increase of 30% in acidity in the ocean. With the decrease of carbonate ion, shells and reefs won't have their building blocks to form exoskeleton and coral reefs. So if exoskeleton can't be produced, there will be a change in the marine ecosystem. Plankton is at the bottom of the food chain in the ocean. With more CO2, which causes the decrease of carbonate ion, will cause a decrease of plankton, which are the main organisms that organisms in the food chain depend on, because they can't form exoskeletons. The coral reef can't have calcium carbonate they need to maintain the skeleton they need. Climate change is a huge threat to coral reefs, and it affects the health of coral reefs. The rise of climate change in the ocean will make the zooxanthella in the tissue of the coral reef leave the coral reef due to the high temperature in the ocean. Coral reef depends on zooxanthella for some of their food, and zooxanthella are what gives the coral reef its unique color. But without zooxanthella, the coral reef becomes bleached and unhealthy. Countries and people who depend on tourism and food intake from the ocean might be affected as coral reefs are being affected. An example is the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, the world's largest barrier reef, and many tourists like to visit there, and due to the CO2 that comes from the people, the ecosystem is being affected, and the food chain is also being affected, which leaves many people without food or income that they depend from tourism and food that comes from the marine ecosystem. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.